Okay, before we actually get to the icing on this Oreo, this video is among the varied content that I talked about in my updated builds video. Basically, the way these videos will work is I'll simply be talking about stuff on my mind. As always, I'll be scripting these videos to keep a consistent point instead of rambling like an idiot, and the titles won't be organized by series or game titles, just like how I put Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 in front of my guides and discussions involved with the game, or DBXV2 builds for Xenoverse 2 build videos. They'll instead just be a short sentence meant to boil down the point of the discussion in a comedic or easy to understand eye grabber, or to the venomous commenters of the shit dump that is YouTube who blow the smallest things beyond out of proportion like to call clickbait. Now, based on that last bit, what could possibly cause me to ask what the actual fuck is wrong with me? Give me just a second. I gotta grab this. It's nothing too important. It's just for protection reasons. It's fine, don't worry about it. Is this it? Nope, that's for Tickle My Dick Tuesdays. What? Here it is. Perfect. There we go. I like 2016's video game version of Trump, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Look, I know it looks bad. I know I look like a complete sellout, especially after the last time I talked about Activision and how they smeared their pus-laden name all over the beloved Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I know I said I'd never support another product under the name Activision ever again. So before we continue, allow me to explain myself. So first of all, for those who would call me a liar and a sellout for buying Infinite Warfare, let me correct you. I didn't buy the game. Huh? How does that make sense? You're showing us the gameplay, so how did you not buy the game? Don't worry, we'll get to that. But first, I received a comment on the video of me discussing how Xenoverse 2's DLC was worrying me, pretty much just calling me a hypocrite for criticizing Bandai Namco based on one game's downloadable content, then proceeding to have gameplay of another Bandai Namco property, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, which is also notorious for having overpriced DLC. $20 for Road to Boruto, my god. Basically implying that because I also play Ninja Storm 4, I must also have that DLC and therefore am also a hypocrite. Somehow. Like Infinite Warfare though, I don't own Storm 4 either. I gave the commenter the same reply, but I'll repeat it here so you all can understand the situation. I'm currently game sharing with a friend of mine who I guess you could say is the Naruto fan version of me, hence why he owns Storm 4. I agreed to buy For Honor at its current price of $60 if he bought the digital version of Infinite Warfare, which at the time was only on sale for $30. On paper that's not really much of a fair deal since I was paying double what he was, but he had also previously bought Road to Boruto for the both of us to play. And lastly, for those who tell me that quote-unquote advertising Infinite Warfare on my channel is still technically supporting them, well, you're not entirely wrong. Me saying stuff along the lines of I enjoy Infinite Warfare to an audience of over 3,000 people can be seen as promotion of Activision's products and therefore supporting them even without giving them any of my money. But I am a firm believer that while I may have opinions about a product and their creators, and some strong opinions at that, I won't ever tell you whether or not to go out and buy any of these products. If you're impressed with the gameplay, or some amalgamation of the footage presented here is compelling enough to make you want to buy Infinite Warfare, be my guest. If the ironic praise I have for the game isn't enough to make you want it, then that's fine as well. The decision is ultimately yours in the long run, so feel free to use what I say about the game when thinking about whether or not you want to support the game. Okay, I think I thoroughly explained my stance on the whole supporting certain products thing and the whole game sharing deal, so now we can finally quit stalling and talk about Infinite Warfare. Oh, by the way, let's talk about how I'm super hyped about Sea of Thieves. So, Infinite Warfare. Yeah, I like the game. I guess it would be fitting to start with the campaign and what I like about it, even though I've yet to finish it. Well, it's a modern Call of Duty campaign, so it's pretty much just a big load of... Luckily, they threw me a bit of a bone this time and added some pretty cool gameplay sections, like the level that takes place on the rotating asteroid with a mechanic that has you take damage from the sun's heat, forcing you to wait until the asteroid turns away from the sun, a zero-gravity gunplay section based on the outside of a battleship and is surprisingly fun, and some pretty good spaceship combat. Other than that though, it's not very enthralling or immersive, aka you beat it once for the achievements then you fuck off to do something else. That something else is not the multiplayer. I mean, unless you're like me when it comes to FPSs and only really enjoy those dick around modes like, you know, Gun Game and Infection. I haven't really played much of the multiplayer besides a couple rounds of Infection with the friend I'm system linked with, so obviously I can't really say much about it, but I was never much of a fan of the boost jumping era of Call of Duty, so I'm basing this entirely off of that. I do know that Infection is fun though, so there's that. Anyway, now we can get to the main reason why I even bothered to make this video in the first place. In the midst of the dislike storm that befell Infinite Warfare's initial reveal trailer, I was among the skeptics that held the hopes that Infinity Ward would stick to their guns and stick with the extinction mode introduced in Ghosts, since not only did it differentiate it from Treyarch's games, but it was also pretty good. So I'm sure you've concluded by now that I was understandably disappointed when Infinity Ward, just like Sledgehammer Games, decided to fall towards the safe route and just make another Zombies mode. But now that I have the game, or in this case a copy of the game, on hand, and have given it a substantial try, I fucking love it. Despite taking the lazy route and copying the darling developers of Call of Duty, Infinity Ward put a surprising amount of effort and care into making this mode incredibly fun to play. The basic premise is the same, so if you like COD Zombies, odds are you'll like this one as well. But there's also some new additions with this one that really add some cool layers of gameplay. For example, the whole idea of being able to play a bunch of mini-games at the arcade or take part in the random theme park games spread out across the map for tickets that'll help purchase some extra equipment and ammo refills just makes the kite horse for 5 minutes, buy perks in the box, pack a punch, repeat formula a little less boring. They also overhauled the death state, which makes dying in multiplayer a lot less frustrating. Basically, when you die in multiplayer or go down with the revive perk in solo mode, instead of just spectating your teammates and waiting for them to finish the round after taking 30 fucking minutes to chase after that damn mystery box, or sorry, the mystery wheel, you get to relax in the afterlife with a mini arcade all to yourself. No zombies interrupting you, no machines randomly going out of order, just nothing but relax time. No, but seriously, in this afterlife arcade, as they call it, you can bring yourself back to life by getting soul power from the games there. When you get enough, you get a token that brings you back to life, and even better, you don't lose any of your previous weapons unless you got one with the Mule Munchies, or Mule Kick for those who couldn't make the distinction. Did you just die after picking up a god tier gun from the weapon wheel? Not a problem, just head over to the Lost and Found and pick them up. For a fee, if you're playing multiplayer. Anyway, aside from a few other really neat changes like the Hellhound round being replaced with the fucking Demon Clown round, and some really cool craftables like the Boombox, I like this mode. Hell, I'd even go as far to say that I adore this interpretation of this classic Zombies mode. It's plenty of fun to play, and if I didn't swear to never purchase another Activision property again, I'd happily support Infinity Ward if they push this mode into the rest of their titles. Can I put the shield down now?